sir, if you would give us your full name and DOC number.
Good morning, Marion Delavallade 423278.
Mr. Delavallade, is that how you pronounce it?
Delavallade, sir.
Delavallade, okay. Mr. Delavallade, my name is Tony Marabella. I'm going to read some information. I want to explain our process to you. I'm going to read some information into the record. Then we're going to conduct a parole interview with you. At the appropriate time, we can allow those persons who wish to speak to have their input. You have two people here present today in favor of your parole, Dr. Robin Vidal and Brandy Burton. We also have in opposition Mr. Randall Meyer from the Jefferson Parish District Attorney's Office. Once we conduct our hearing, you'll have an opportunity to address the board, then the board will vote. Do you understand our process, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is a matter of Marion Delavallade, DOC number 423278, date of birth 11/13/1978. He's a fourth felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of July the 14th of 2019. He has an adjusted good time date of July 15th of 2028, full term date of July 14th of 2029. He is currently serving a 15-year sentence on the charges of possession with intent to distribute heroin, 3 separate counts, and 1 attempted possession with intent to distribute heroin after having been adjudicated an habitual offender. Is that information accurate, Mr. Delavallade?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Delavallade, additionally, your mother has now signed on, Miss Angela Stepter. She is also present to speak on your behalf. Your case has been assigned to me, so I will begin to conduct our interview. Got a note sheet, but I can't find it. Mr. Delavallade, how old are you, sir?
44.
And how long have you been in prison on these charges?
9.5 years. 9.5 years, sir.
I've looked at your record. You've actually got 8 felony convictions. You were convicted of 2 counts of simple robbery, 2 counts of possession of cocaine, 1999, 2002, 2004, simple burglary. Then in 2017, possession with intent to distribute heroin, attempted distribution of heroin, and distribution of heroin. Tell me why all the criminality? Tell me why all of these crimes?
Good morning, sir. The reason for all the crimes was I limited myself to expand myself towards educational needs, vocational trades, and I was around the wrong group of people, and I was lured by the fast money, scared of success, taking the easy way out.
How much education did you have back then when you came to jail 9.5 years ago? How far did you go in school?
None, sir. I didn't have a high school diploma before I was incarcerated.
You got your GED this year, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It just graduated last week.
How about drugs or alcohol? Did you use drugs or alcohol back then?
Yes, at one time, yes, I did.
Okay, what kind
Yes,
of drugs
sir.
did you use?
Smoking marijuana
Anything besides
and,
marijuana?
smoking synthetic marijuana.
Besides marijuana and synthetic marijuana, did you ever do cocaine?
No, sir.
Heroin?
No, sir.
How did you get involved in selling heroin?
Being around the wrong group of people, being lured into fast money. I guess, scared of failures of success, trying to take the easy way out, which wasn't the easy way out.
Well, you had two possession of cocaine charges, one in 99 and one in 2002. Were you selling the cocaine? What were you doing with the cocaine if you didn't use cocaine?
Yes, sir, I was selling.
Tell me what you learned while you've been in prison, what the effects of your selling drugs, especially cocaine and heroin, has on people.
First of all, I understand the seriousness what drugs could do to a user, a family, as well as the household and their community. Drugs have no future inside my plans. My plan is to continue to get self-help, continue to be around productive people, continue to pursue my academics and vocational trades and plans that I have accumulated while incarcerated.
Have you ever had a real job besides selling drugs?
Yes, I had a job before, sir.
What kind of jobs did you have?
I used to work at Folgers Coffee Company in New Orleans East, and I was working at Bravo's restaurant on St. Charles in New Orleans.
Tell me why I should vote to let you out with your criminal history, your poor supervision history, and your drug dealing.
I feel I should be released today because I understand the seriousness and the harmful acts that I inflicted on the community, my family, as well as myself. And I accept full responsibility to that. But during my incarceration, I have always stayed dedicated and extended needs to better myself, which was graduating, getting my GED, enrolling in vocational trades to be a better person and to provide for my family and to be a role model for my family as well.
What sort of vocational trades did you get? Because I'm looking at your progress report, and they indicate that you need more vocational skills and you need more 12-step programs. Tell me about that. What vocational programs have you taken? What sort of skills have you learned while you've been in prison?
NCCR, which deals with constructional skills, construction site works. I obtained search aid, which dealing with food safety management, and IC3 technometer computer skills.
How are you going to stay sober if you get out?
I have family support. I want to continue to be around positive, sober-minded people, and I want to continue to roll myself into self-help class because I know addictions could be a problem. I want to always better myself.
Are you a drug addict?
At one time, I was, sir. I've been clean.
What programs have you taken dealing with substance abuse? I see you took Living in Balance. What else have you taken that has to do specifically with substance abuse?
I took RDAP, which is a drug program that was implemented by the feds and is here at Elaine Hunts Correctional Institution. And I enrolled in substance abuse, Malachi Dads.
Are you familiar with the 12 steps?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about it.
Which one would you like to know about, sir?
Tell me about all the 12 steps. Tell me why they're important if they are important. What's the purpose of them?
The purpose of them is to know and admit that you have wronged some others, and you're willing to confront others and make amends to them, and that you're willing to give the will and your life to God, to let God through these problems and understand through Him that He will help you, and to stay drug free and to always continually to seek help to better yourself.
How often were you smoking marijuana when you were out?
Every other day, sir.
And when did you start?
I was like the age of 15.
Okay. And how long did you smoke marijuana every other day, from the time you were 15 until the time you went to prison?
Yes, off and on, sir.
Have you ever had any long-term substance abuse treatment?
Yes, while I was incarcerated, going to a lot of programs.
Well, those are educational programs. Have you ever gone into any sort of an inpatient treatment facility where they actually treated you for substance abuse? Did you ever go through like a Steve Hall program or something like that?
No, sir.
Did you ever go attempt to get drug substance treatment while you were on the outside?
No, sir.
Let's talk a little bit about your disciplinary record. You've only had 12 write-ups, but 9 of those 12 write-ups were for contraband. Why is that?
Yes,
and what
sir.
was the contraband?
Contraband was a lot of them was dealing with phones. 2 of them was drug charges.
All right. When were the drug charges?
Like 3 years ago.
Okay. And Living in Balance you took in 2018. That was a drug, kind of a substance abuse program. So you've had 2 drug write-ups since you've taken Living in Balance. Is that right?
No, sir.
No, sir, what? You told me your drug write-ups were about 3 years ago. You took Living in Balance in 2018. Right?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm sorry. I took those programs while I was at Angola.
All right. So since you've taken those programs, you've had a couple of write-ups for drugs.
Yes, sir.
Gordon, what can you tell us about Mr. Delavallade?
Yes, Mr. Marabella, I share your concern with the disciplinary, especially the contraband of drugs. Share your concerns with that. The last year or so, he's been doing well. He hasn't had a write-up since December of 21, and he's gotten into classes. He's been doing all right, but again, the contraband of drugs is real concerning to me at this time.
Thank you, Warden. Appreciate your comments. Now we'll hear from your supporters. Dr. Vidal.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to speak on my cousin's behalf. We grew up together, and I've spent almost my whole life with him. And the transformation that I've seen since he's been incarcerated has been remarkable. And I know that religion isn't everything, but that's when I noticed the change in him once he found Islam and he had more of a sense of purpose, or purpose for life. That's when I saw that he was determined to do something different when he came home this time. He grew up with my uncle, and he had really big shoes to fill. My uncle was a phenomenal man, and he was an entrepreneur, and he took care of everybody. And he always had that sense of, I need to fill those shoes, and I need to be the provider for everybody. He just took the wrong steps to try to get there. And I think his growth since he's been there this time, he now understands that you can provide, you can take care of everybody, but there, the proper steps that you have to take to do it. And so, his commitment to things like getting an education and wanting to get a trade so that he can start a business and provide for family the right way. Those are things that I didn't hear him talking about when we were in our 20s, when we were in our 30s. I believe it's all, his spiritual journey that has got him to this point where, he's ready to make amends and, do things the right way. And he has my support. He has the support of our whole family. We're all behind him. I know my uncle is what he would want for him, to be the person that he always knew he was, the person that we always knew he was. And, you know, hearing him talking about starting a business, like when I come out, first thing I'm gonna do is, you know, try to get a CDL license so that I can become a truck driver and start like a trucking business. Like his mind is not on the fast money anymore. His mind is on, how do I get a skill that I can use for the rest of my life to provide for me and provide for my family. And I'm proud of him. I mean, I see the change, and I hope you guys see it as well.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate your comments. Now we hear from Miss Brandy Burton.
Good morning.
Morning, Ms. Burton.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Raymond's cousin. Raymond, Robin, and I, we all grew up together, three amigos. Raymond has a very good heart. I'm sorry, Marion. We all affectionately call him Raymond. So I apologize, sir. But Marion has a great heart. He was the big brother we never had. Growing up in New Orleans is kind of tough, especially to be a Black man. And he was just misguided, a misguided youth. And I believe the 9 years he's been in prison, he's had time to reflect on the impact that he's had on the community. I know that he regret any decisions regarding selling drugs or anything that has to do with drugs. Like Robin said, Islam helped him change his mindset. He's a different person now. I believe myself personally, I would help support him by going to the meetings, that any kind of drug meetings or something to help a person to stay on track so that he won't go back to the what he was doing in the past, which I don't believe he will, because like I said, by him joining the Nation of Islam, he's a different man. Just the way he speaks, the conversations are different. And I believe the 9 years he has had time to reflect, and he does have a lot of regret about the things that has happened in the past.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate your comments. Now we'll hear from Angela Stepter.
She's trying to connect something.
Ms. Stepter, can you hear us?
She may have to unmute the mic at the bottom.
Can you hear us, Ms. Stepter?
She may be having some connectivity issues. Look, she's frozen. She's having connectivity issues. We just need to move forward.
Okay. We're having some connectivity issues with your mother. She called in late. We can't seem to get her in. Let's go ahead and hear from Mr. Randy Meyer. Mr. Meyer?
Good morning, Randall Meyer, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. After listening to Mr. Delavallade, I have a hard time with his name, pronouncing his name. After listening to his interview, I'm gonna remain opposed to his request. A couple of concerns I have is at his prior hearing, he was denied in part because he had disciplinary reports. Since that hearing that was in 2021, and he had 2 disciplinary reports in 2021. It looks like one was right around the time of the hearing, and the other one was after the hearing. That's very concerning to me. You don't get denied for disciplinary reports and then continue to have disciplinary reports. His answer to Mr. Marabella's question concerning, is he a drug addict, bothered me. I used to be. Well, he tells me he clearly needs additional substance abuse treatment. Since he's been incarcerated, the last 3 years ago, he said 2 of his contraband disciplinary reports were for drugs. I think a long-term substance abuse treatment is very much needed for him to, give him the chance to stay out of jail once he does get released. So we're opposed at this time. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer. We appreciate it. Mr. Delavallade, you have anything you'd like to say before the board votes?
Yes, first of all, I'd like to thank God. I would like to thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to speak here today. I would like to thank my family for the support, and I understand those choices that I made. They was immature, they was irrational decisions, and I accept full responsibility for my actions. But the person I am now here today, I see and challenge to better myself. That's why I took the needed steps to get my academic trades, my vocational trades, because I have plans and I want to pursue to be a better person. I no longer want to live the life I live. I want to be a provider for my family, a role model to my family, as well as the community and the youth. And I want to be allowed the chance to prove that I can be a conductive, responsible, law-abiding citizen in the near future.
Thank you very much, Mr. Delavallade. Panel ready to vote?
Yes.
You know, Mr. Delavallade, you've got very good family support. Your cousins spoke very highly of you. They want to help you. They're there for you to support you, but there's just so much that they can do. You know, it looks like you're heading in the right direction. The last year or so, you've done well. I have some serious concerns, however. Your supervision history, your criminal history certainly is not good. Your disciplinary issues are a real concern to me, especially the drugs. You know, like Mr. Meyer said, I'm concerned about your response to me that you were a drug addict. I think you played down your drug addiction, and you are a drug addict, and you'll forever be a drug addict. And I do believe that you need some long-term substance abuse treatment that best can be provided while you're there in the Department of Corrections. So I would encourage you to continue to do what you're doing, but for me right now, just not yet. So my vote today would be to deny, but to encourage you to continue to work hard and try to get into a long-term substance abuse program. I'm just one vote, but that's my vote. Mr. Roche?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Delavallade.
Yes, sir.
I heard your closing statement. You want to prove that you can be a productive member of society. But you got to prove it.
Yes, sir.
You got to prove it inside first. And as far as I'm concerned, you have not proved to me that you can stay out of trouble. You've been in extended lockdown 6 or 7 times in 9 years. You have 12 disciplinary write-ups in 9 years. You've been revoked on numerous occasions, and you've been convicted of 8 felonies. I need to see a longer period of time where there's no negative activity before I vote. So my vote is the same as Mr. Marabella for the same reasons.
Thank you, Mr. Roche. Mr. Freeman?
I agree that I think you're headed definitely in the right direction. I will recommend that you go to inpatient drug treatment and reapply. If you get that inpatient drug treatment, I think you'll be successful next time. So we're gonna put that recommendation in your paperwork and see if we can't get you transferred to Steve Hall or somewhere where you can get the treatment you need.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Mr. Delavallade. I'm sorry I'm ruining your name, but it's a very difficult name for me to pronounce. You've got 3 votes to deny you, but I've heard some very encouraging words from all 3 of us. And that is, you're moving in the right direction. You need a little more work. You've got a wonderful family that's at home waiting for you to come home. Put the time in, put the work in, and reapply. And hopefully the next time you'll be fine. Good luck to you, sir.
That's